talk to Mitch, the Koori Kid Birkett, an Aboriginal Australian mixed martial artist from the Central Coast, New South Wales, Australia. Awesome bloke. It's a great yarn, eh? Just jumping into who he is as a mixed martial artist and where that all stemmed from in Western Sydney, now up on the Central Coast, and where his career is at now and where he looks at taking it down the line, going forward. Wish nothing but the best for the bloke. Awesome. And want to thank our sponsors, Permobil Australia, the greatest electric wheelchairs in the land. Wouldn't be sitting in anything else but these 4 wheels right here, and they've got great assistive tech also. So righto, let's get into it. Get the makeup chick, eh? We need to get dusted up a bit here. Nah. Alright. So rolling. Mitch, the Koori Kid Birkett. Thanks for coming down, brother.
All good, brother. Good to see you, Jake.
Yeah. Mate, just want to kick it off. Proud Aboriginal fella. Where's your mob from, man?
Kamilaroi, mate. I'm down from the Pilliga.
Yep.
And yeah, it's my mob.
Mate, we might be sharing family there. I'm Kamilaroi too.
Yeah, I think there's a few around. Like,
yeah. Going strong, second largest tribe.
It was
in
a
New South
big
Wales.
mission down there. I think everyone got shipped out to the same place, really. Like,
Yep. And so, did you live it all up that way?
No. So I was originally born down in Blacktown, and I lived there for my first 16 years of my life. Pretty much brought up around the Aboriginal community down there, and then moved up to the Central Coast.
Yeah.
Pretty much the remainder.
Yeah, it's a lot of Kooris down that way, like down like Blacktown and going out west, like massive community. Yeah, because that's one of the most highly populated areas of Aboriginals, like in Australia in general.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it was a real shift moving from there to the coast. Because down there, you grew up really proud, and up here, it's a little bit different, dynamic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
How do you feel like that, like being on dark and young country, and just, like, is it mixing up with some of the other Kooris and that up here, or just the feel of what the
just
coast
the feel,
is
man,
compared to...
the community as well can be a little bit tattered and broken a little bit, like all over the joint, people looking after their own interests kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then just even like racism in general on the coast, like, is a lot worse than what I'd cop in Blacktown, Doonside.
Yeah.
And stuff like that, just growing up, stuff like that, yeah.
Well, that's it. You've not, because you spent a good chunk of your life down there.
Yeah.
And I'm from Western Sydney too, so, I know what, that's like. But, more of the Aboriginal population is like out your way, like, because I deal with work where I've dealt with like Koori Court down in Parramatta and Surrey Hills, and like a lot of the kids coming through are, from like Blacktown area and that in Mount Druitt.
Yeah. I think my dad was saying one of his mates is one of the education officers down there at Shelby, and they've got like hundreds just in the school, like hundreds of Aboriginal kids. Yeah, it's just hitting high numbers.
Yeah,
yeah.
A lot of Kooris down there. So you still got a bit of family in that down there? Or?
My nan and that lives down there. Me nan and pop, and me dad and mum pretty much grew up around Shelby and stuff like that. So
yeah. So that's where the roots are, and that carves out who you are today, like those Western Sydney roots, yeah?
Kind of just that, hard Western Sydney mentality, man, like, was ingrained into me from a very young age.
Yeah. And so, where'd mixed martial arts come into the scene, brother?
Well, I was probably around like 18, 20, and I was running a bit of a muck, doing like a few stupid things like we all do, and then I just thought I had to change things up, so I started getting into mixed martial arts. But when I was younger, my dad used to train a lot of boxing, and I used to go around with my dad when I was like 6 to a lot of gyms and that, just watch him train. So I'd always been kind of fascinated by sport, and that was just let it come from boxing kind of thing, and then turned into that.
Yeah, right. So with that kicking off, so with mixed martial arts, so when did you first get So you've gone through boxing, you've done a lot of that, floating around gyms with your old man, your father. So when did you get a sniff at mixed martial arts? Like, were you watching a particular fight, or
it would have been maybe about when I was 12. Dad came home one time with a few DVDs, and so very young age, probably introduced his son to MMA. At the time, as well, like it was seen as like cockfighting, you know what I mean?
Blood sport.
Yeah, like watched that and was always kind of intrigued.
Yep.
Always watched a lot of boxing growing up, like a lot of Shannon Taylor and stuff like that.
Yeah, okay.
And then, just as I got older, I wanted to really get into jiu-jitsu. I got into jiu-jitsu, did a few things with that, and then just made the crossover.
Yeah, right. So when you made the crossover, so was the jiu-jitsu mainly up here on the coast, or it was down in Sydney, or where did...
That was up here. When I was about 20, I started at an MMA gym, done about 3 months there, and then I was like, I had to get my skill base up, so I started going and sourcing like better boxing coaches, better jiu-jitsu coaches and stuff like that, and just working on my skill base, which a lot of guys weren't doing at the time. So a lot of guys were just going to an MMA gym, learning a bit of this, learning a bit of that, but nothing real technical and real hard, and they weren't getting the sparring with the guys they should have been getting the sparring with. So now it's all changed, and everyone's, going to Thai classes, doing boxing classes, doing proper jiu-jitsu classes, and rolling with the specialists in their arts.
Yeah, so with the jiu-jitsu, so is that like your prime, like if you're talking about discipline, so you've been doing a bit of boxing, doing a bit of jiu-jitsu, so also a bit of Muay Thai and everything else involved, like just trying the different disciplines to...
Yeah, and just figuring out what works for you, you know what I mean? Like certain fighters have certain tools kind of thing, and you can, like if I go to a Thai class, they'll go, we'll teach him how to be a Thai fighter, which you need to go to all these people and learn all these things, but you need to be able to come back to yourself and
just know where your strengths are.
Where your strengths are and how you're going to work that into your game. As opposed to like if you go to like say a boxing coach, he might go, he's weak with his jabby, so we'll work on his jab, whereas the jab might be his punch. Do you know what I mean? So you work a whole lot of weaknesses that aren't going to be real effective in MMA. Like you will see Conor McGregor, for example. He knows what his shots are.
Yeah.
And he sticks to his shots.
That's it. Especially when you look at Eddie Alvarez, when he had that 4-punch combo, like just a sequence of it, just every shot counted, and he knew where they were going to land.
I think,
and just how he knows to approach space.
The distance and range is a boxing thing as well.
That's it.
And I think just like it's a lot harder if you've got all these tools and weapons and you're looking at someone going, where are the openings? As opposed to he's looking at you going, when this left hand's on, I'm going to nail it right in your face. Do you know what I mean? It's a lot. He simplified it, and he's putting 100% effort and technique into that thing, as opposed to having like his energy
just throwing
all
something
over
wild
the joint.
where it's going to drag down your cardio and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So how long did it take to, like, you go into all these different disciplines, right? And finding the different tools that work for you, like for your weight, for your body, for your height, all that sort of stuff. So what was the best fit for your style as a mixed martial artist?
For me, I've got a good left hand when I can land it, so I've got to keep things long. So I probably shouldn't be giving away too much.
You're giving away your secret sauce, bro.
Yeah. But I think a lot of people know what my go is too. So did you watch me last fight at all?
I've seen bits and pieces of it,
it was
mate.
actually going for very long, so you've probably seen the whole thing. But I'd started opening up a bit more with what I'd training, and I'd realised, so when he shot for a takedown, I threw an uppercut, thinking he was going to shoot for a double and his head was going to be there. But normally when I fight, I'd jab or I step off and throw a hook, which I probably should have done, but because I'd tried all these new things, I'd open my game up a little more and I threw the wrong shot. Do you know what I mean? So
that's it,
yeah.
So threw it, and that's when he just came in for the takedown and got it down. And do you want to throw in the result there? So that was with...
inverted triangle he ended up getting me with.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Stuart's a really high-level guy, so I wasn't like... I went in there to win, but at the same time, I knew it was going to be a hard challenge. At the same, like I don't want to take easy fights, so...
Nah, and what was the lead up to it, like knowing that the calibre that Stuart was
It was
in with his
heartbreaking, man.
discipline.
Like, it was
Yeah.
17 weeks. I worked for 17 weeks really fucking hard, and then over in a minute. So,
Yeah.
yeah, but that's the sport.
That's it.
Yeah.
You know, it can happen in a minute, or you can get the 3 rounds, and who knows where it's going to come through, eh?
Yeah.
And just depending on the skill level or whose style fits whose, or if they
Yeah.
oppose each other. But so going back to say the foundation, right? Who's your head coach, and what gym do you train out of?
I don't really have a head coach, to be honest. So what I do, I train around, like I go to jiu-jitsu, I train at Gracie Barra, probably one of the best gyms on the coast. And then I'll just...
The one at Erina?
Yeah, I train at Wong at the moment. I used to train at the one at Erina.
Yep.
Then I train my Muay Thai at All Sorts there, and I do my own boxing and stuff like that, bringing my own sparring and stuff like that, if I'm not sparring with Thai boys as well.
Yeah. Okay.
So just mixing it up and just being ready to fight, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So is your base sort of like freestyle in a way, would you say?
Yeah, like just the scrapping, man, like...
Yeah. Shit. Take that
Yeah.
Western Sydney style and throw it in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so if you don't have any head coach or is there anybody a part of your team at all? Or it's just...
I've got guys that come to corner me and stuff like that, but like not really. Like the guys I train with in my team, and that's about it really. But that's like, if you want to do the sport, you kind of got to be able to get the work in where you can. You know what I mean? Like there's not the opportunities to train at all these other places like you get.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I find guys that train at MMA gyms and they're doing themselves a disservice by not going to all these other gyms and training. So it's just, you know what I mean? Like you got to find what works for you.
Yeah.
And just believe in yourself.
Yeah. So if you think you found what's right for you here, because it's mainly the Central Coast, do you venture out of the Central Coast for any of your training?
Not at the moment, just because I'm busy with kids and stuff like that. Would like to venture out a bit more and stuff like that. But I've got a system and it's working. Like, just I'm probably overlooking a bit of my training because of this last fight and what happened, but shit happens. So yeah, I felt more ready than I've ever felt. So at the same time,
yeah,
I can't complain. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
And I've taken fights, like the fight I fought on Hex, I took that fight with a torn knee. And
are you saying this one recently?
No, the year and a half ago.
Yep.
So like, I'm ready to fight anyway. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm just got that mentality where like, if I'm training, I'm being punched in the head and I'm doing the work.
Yeah.
I'll have a scrap.
So how was the neck? It wasn't ACL, PCL, or
I didn't even
MCL?
go get it checked out, to be honest. So like, when you're a black fella, you don't really have money to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Once your body's broken, unless Medicare's sorting you out. So,
just shake it around, see if it's not broken, just keep walking on it, rehab it a little bit, see how it goes.
And I'm pretty educated with the whole rehab side of things and that as well. So like,
that's good.
Yeah. Like if I've had neck injuries and stuff like that, and I come back probably quicker than most of these guys going to doctors, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they don't do what needs to be done to get back, or they don't do the strength and condition. Like, guys will train MMA, throwing kicks and throwing punches, and then do no weights or no strength and conditioning in the right way to build their muscles up. Like, so when I
do you do that at all sorts as well? With the strength and
that's
conditioning?
like good thing I've got going on there. It's 24/7 to go in, do whatever I want, whenever I want. And like when I tore my knee, because I had been doing heavy squats and all that sort of stuff, that I had strength around my knee to support my knee still, but there's been times where I haven't done strength and conditioning and there hasn't been any support around the knee, and when that knee goes, it's 4 weeks out, like straight away. So
do you brace it up or anything, tape it?
Yeah, you can tape it and brace it, but I think with the CSA in New South Wales, you can't actually tape for fights. So what I was taping it up for this fight, and then I think I was allowed to tape it in Melbourne, but I didn't. I was just, the adrenaline will kick in and I'll be sweet.
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
That's it. It goes into fight or flight mode.
Yeah.
You got your target in front of you, and that's when you're not really thinking about injuries and whatnot. You're thinking of the goal.
And that was first fight on Hex on Fox Sports. So I was like, didn't want to pull out at all. You know what I mean? Like, wanted to take that opportunity.
Yeah, mate. And there'll be more to come, that's for sure. But when you're doing your strength and conditioning, so are you doing a lot of this stuff lone soldier, or you got people that you're training with there?
I've got a diploma in fitness as well, so I've got a lot of knowledge on my strength and conditioning and how to do it. So I switched on with that kind of stuff. And when I was growing up, all I ever did was watch my old man train for like 6 hours a day, pretty much after work. Like he's a fanatic with it. So I've got a pretty solid base behind me before I've even got there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always had a routine of fitness that's pretty much straight in your blood, brother.
Yeah, I
so you're
don't
ready
need to
go.
I don't need to be pushed. I'll push myself. Like, I'll if anything, my life will fall apart, man, from training. So
Yeah.
yeah.
But, at the end of the day, you know your body best and what works.
Yeah.
And, if it's doing it with other people or by yourself, and especially when you are hurting your knee and just taking it, if you are taking it easy and just, building up all those little stabiliser muscles.
Yeah.
around
Well,
those
that's another
areas.
problem you see. A lot of people go to people for stuff. They'll have an injury, then they'll go and that guy will push them and you'll injure them instead of them going, right, I can't train this today. Being smart about their training, I got to go train this and adapt. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then they'll go and they're trying to please somebody else. And that's where the injuries come in because they're hiding or covering up the injury. You know what I mean? That whole, yeah. So you got to know, you got to know like what you're doing with it.
Yeah. And knowing what you're doing with it. So have you always fought at flyweight?
Yeah. So
Because that's a hard weight cut too, yeah?
not anymore. Like my last cut was really easy. So I've got that down with my diet and that I've got a really good nutritionist, combat nutrition.
Yep.
And he kind of, I thought I had an idea beforehand. He's kind of just nailed it all in and fixed it all up. And now it's like no hassle cutting weight at all.
Yeah.
Like I've had cuts where I've cut 4 or 5 kilos in a day before a fight.
A day?
Yeah.
What are you doing to get down that much in a bloody day?
Nearly dying. Yeah. So, this time it was like a kilo on the last day I had the cut. So easily done.
Not too bad.
15, 20 minutes in the sauna, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
All out. Yeah. And I felt fit, felt healthy, I felt like I could fight at the weigh-ins. I've never felt like that before.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm figuring things out and it's all starting to come together. And like I'm fighting the highest level guys in the division. There's probably a few higher, like the top 5, but if you look at the fights I've taken from the start, they're all been quality matchups for the level I'm at. I haven't gone, I'm going to fight this guy, he's a pushover, he's a walkover.
Going to take a bum, yeah.
And people can see it, you know what I mean, when they watch the sport. So
Well, that's it. If you really want to have a crack, like you want to sort of get someone that's going to really test your skills, yeah?
Yeah. There's a lot of backwoodsness with it. Like, so like you're taking these easy fights to impress your friends and that. It's not real marketing, you know what I mean? Like you want to impress the guy that's just come out of nowhere to watch you or watch the fights and he goes like, that's a good matchup. That was a good fight. That's how you make proper fans.
Yeah.
You can only carry the locals so far, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And going back to like combat nutrition, so how long out of your fight, like with your fight camp and everything else with preparation, so how many weeks do you get in a routine with, say, combat nutrition, whatever the schedule is, and the training that you're doing leading up to the actual fight camp?
So basically I just communicate with him and then he'll give me what I need to do to make the weight. But I'm pretty spot on usually anyway out from the camp. Like I don't go too far heavy. As soon as I start training, like my body gets into shape real quick and I don't stop training, man. So it's, you know what I mean? I'm just real militant with it anyway.
So it doesn't matter win, loss or draw. The next day you're up and at it, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't muck around, brother. That's for sure. So have you ever jumped into considered bantamweight or some of the other weights or you just feel like flyweight's just best fit for you?
I've tossed it up a little bit.
Because you're a big flyweight.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I don't know if my chin suffers at all from it because of it. Like, it didn't seem to when I fought on Hex. I copped head kicks and everything in that fight and still come out the other end of the decision. So I don't think it does affect me chin. And that was a bad cut too. So this cut was really easy. And that's why I was kind of more upset. I really wanted to test those 5 rounds out.
Yeah.
See how they went. But we'll get another chance to try it out. But a lot of the guys from bantamweight can be cutting down from say 75, 80 kilos. Like,
jeez.
so
yeah.
then
So
you're
they're
thinking
still pretty
like
big.
they're packing some some of those guys are packing a lot of power. Like, yeah, could be featherweights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes a massive difference, hey? Like,
Yeah,
people
yeah.
don't realise, like, they just think you can, like, you jump up and then you'll just easily you fit into that division, but there's a whole lot of...
The TJ Dillashaw one was a good example.
Yeah, are you talking about with Henry Cejudo,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
fight? Yeah. Well, he
Just-
looked like a skeleton before
That's right,
weigh-ins.
and he's about the same height as me. So when I looked
Yeah.
at it, I'm like, "Fuck, how do I do it?"
Yeah,
But then you look at
because
his
what are
frame,
you? You're about, what, 5'8" or
5'7".
5'7", yeah?
Yeah. But like, my family's real skinny. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
having like Asian blood, Aboriginal blood as well, like
Yeah.
real smaller build.
Yep.
So you look at TJ Dillashaw, he would walk around about 75 kilos, like when he's out of camp. Like he'd blow right out. And then probably all those performance enhancers as well.
Yeah.
Look,
All those Mexican supplements.
Yeah.
No, but... So what's your walk around weight at?
62 to 66.
Oh, you don't have to cut...
No, that's
No,
what I
you're
mean.
there
Like,
pretty
I'm
much.
there, bro. Like, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. So going back to it, like, when you are cutting weight, so when you're in the sauna, are you moving about? Have you got a sweatsuit on? Like,
Just
what are you
get in
doing?
the sauna and just get the last bit of water out. Usually I only do a 15-minute, then come out for 5, back in for 15 minutes. Do it real safe.
Yeah.
Do it the right way, eat the right food.
Yeah. How's the body feel when you're going through the weight cut?
Used
Like,
to feel
especially
shit.
if
Like,
it's a bad one. Like,
the bad. I've had fights where I had to pull out of a fight because the weight cut was that bad. I ended up getting a virus or a fever when I was like had the weight off, and then I tried to eat and just spewed up, was pissing out everything, couldn't put fluid or water back on, and that was like after that I started figuring out properly how to cut the weight and that. But yeah, like that really messed me up, and the weight cut would have had a lot to do with it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Just your body couldn't just handle taking that influx of food.
4
water.
kilos of water in a day, you know what I mean? And like
That's
nuts.
nuts.
That's when I was in a sweatsuit and then like in the bath, out of the bath, like in the sauna for hours.
Well, were you actually working out in the sweatsuit, just going for a run, or?
Well, if I do work out in the suit, it'll be before I go in the sauna just to heat the body up. I try not to wear the suit in the sauna too much. It's probably not as necessary. Like you just stay in there.
It's pretty
for
full
long.
on.
Yeah. Like you're just pushing it too hard.
Yeah.
And you heat up, like, and then when you heat up, probably haven't sweat before your body's going to overheat. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's just more taxing on your organs and that.
Oh, big time kidneys, liver, all that sort of stuff.
But like keeping your electrolytes up and that is a big thing, which I didn't do a lot of that before. So
Yep.
like, just smashing your electrolytes and keeping your salts and that up in your body before you
Yeah,
come to the
sodium
last
levels
week.
and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cutting weight's pretty full on. Like, you hear of some blokes where, you know, like you said, the TJ Dillashaws, where they're cutting all the way down and don't do it properly, and then they have to pull out of fights.
Yeah.
Because, you know, their kidneys and everything else is, you wouldn't say failing, but they take a good hit and then they're passing out and whatnot. And
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I've seen, like, you hear a lot of fighters where they're talking about, you know, taking the whole weight cut out and sort of fight at your natural weight.
So I've always thought about it like, too, how would I go at 61? Like I did have a lot of boxing fights at 61, and I was 3-1 as an amateur boxer as well. So, and a lot of like I did do fairly well at 61. It was when I did actually do a fight at amateur boxing at 57 kilos, and I had to cut that weight 2 hours before the fight. So that had like,
oh man,
yeah. So I've got down there, and when that guy didn't have any power or nothing, but when he hit me, like it was like strobe lights in my head. So and I was like, that felt like the hardest I've ever been hit. Thankfully, like I won that fight and got a couple of knockdowns and whatever else. So there must have been a power crossover as well for me.
Yeah,
I'm not too sure, but yeah, it just felt a whole we're getting hit didn't feel good, eh?
I wouldn't, brother.
Yeah.
And yeah, because you see some of these guys with the weight cutting and just how big they are. Like if you look at John Jones, you look at, say, Luke Rockhold, where, you know, these guys, like especially like, say, Luke Rockhold, like where this guy's probably walking around at 100 kegs, and then he fights at light heavy now, and that hasn't done him any favours because I think he's been knocked out twice. But when he was cutting down to middleweight, like that's a big dude at that weight. You know, 84 kegs, like.
Well, and then like Romero and that, the guys he's fighting are like just compact.
Oh, mate, that bloke, his traps, they're up to his ears, eh?
Yeah.
those Cuban genes, man. Yeah, so who inspires you most when you're looking at overall mixed martial arts, brother, or if it's pulling from different disciplines?
Well, I don't know, I'd have to say like it's probably a shit inspiration, but like the Diaz brothers, like
The Stockton slap.
They're the only ones that really interest me, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
and have for a long time. And it's just, I don't know, like a lot of people don't understand them and that, but I think being from where we're from and that, you do understand them. You know what I mean? Like, you do understand what they're trying to say.
Yeah, growing up in some of those hard areas and what that represents. And,
And a lot of, you see it in MMA a lot, like a lot of rich kids getting good training and whatever else, only because they got the money. You know what I mean? And like, they've done it a different way to what most guys have done it. They can't understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you reckon you got cardio like the Diaz brothers or what?
Oh, I'd like to inspire to have cardio like the Diaz brothers.
Yeah.
Like
they seem like they can just keep going.
Yeah. Like I've got 4 brothers, so we all grew up punching on boxing and that too. So like there is a bit of that kind of, you know what I mean? Like just go all day and just punch the shit out of each other.
Yeah. So what's talking about cardio? So what do you get into? A bit of bike, just straight up running, swimming?
Yeah, running pretty much, and then like when I done me now, I do a lot of bike riding, stuff like that.
Yeah,
kind of stuff. But yeah, just running, bike riding.
Would it be a bit of bush, bit of road, sand?
Bit of everything, yeah. Dunes, everything.
Do you get down to Nora Head, run the dunes there?
Every on my recovery day, that's me Sunday, so I'll go down there and I'll do the stairs or the dunes.
Every Sunday?
Yeah, that's my recovery, so.
Yeah. Well, if you want to mix it up with this fella, come get on the bandwagon and run the dunes with him. Yeah, put him to the test, eh? Yeah, so, and being an Aboriginal fella, proud Kamilaroi man, what's that mean to you, being Aboriginal and a mixed martial artist?
I feel like my career's a little bit bigger than me, you know what I mean? Like I've got to keep going and keep pushing and keep, not even just for like, it's at the same time just for my family, but for like mob in general. Like I've got a lot of like people I grew up with that are doing it tough in a lot of different ways, you know what I mean? So I feel like if I could just keep doing what I'm doing, it gives them a little bit of hope or a little inspiration to maybe push a little harder as well, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's just something like that. Like,
just representing the mob, having them on your shoulders.
Like I didn't grow up like I was a gentle kid kind of thing, but the way I was brought up and the way most black fellas were brought up kind of led me down this path. And it's kind of a blessing and a curse, but if I want it to be about something, I want it to be about, you know, mob trying a little bit harder, you know what I mean? And fucking... Yeah.
No,
like treating yourself what you're worth, brother. Like...
Yeah. And having the mob behind you.
Yeah.
Well, you've got a big mob behind you, Kamilaroi, but not just Kamilaroi. Like, you know, you got, like, just looking at your shirt now, and for the listeners here, man, I love that shirt, just with the Koori design all over it. But, yeah, it's not that one secular tribe. It's having all the mob around Australia, you know, and having that representation like that means a lot, eh?
Yeah. And I've like tried a little, like one thing I want to try is to get, we've been trying to get dancers at the walk-ins and that, but it's probably a little bit too little for that yet. So yeah, keep pushing.
Just pushing, build it up. And talking about like Aboriginality, I'm just thinking of and I think that's great what Robert Whittaker's doing at the moment, where he's got a program that he's running through TAFE. So it's rural, remote. It's all, I'm pretty sure it's just in New South Wales for the time being. I know it's running through TAFE, and it's got to do with business or sport, but also incorporating jiu-jitsu for a lot of mob out there. Because I started seeing him on social media, like where it says Gracie on a grey shirt, and then it's got the Aboriginal flag colours in there, you know? I'm like, what's going on there? And then looked into it a bit, and I'm like, yeah, he's helping a lot of mob out there, which is empowering the mob. And that's what we need.
It's a good program. Very good program. That's where I got my diploma of fitness from. And then,
did you? You went through his course?
It's a good program, yeah.
Shout out to Robert Whittaker.
Helping a lot of people out. It's just, there's like little things as well. Like one thing I want to do is one day make jiu-jitsu accessible to black fellas, you know what I mean? Like, we've got a lot of, like, boxing and stuff we can go do and stuff like that. But jiu-jitsu is a really, like, it's a middle-class sport, man. Like, to be honest, it's real hard to get into, especially if you're a black fella. I'd like to do something around that. You know what I mean? Like they can, at the moment, you've got this course and they can go do that course, but you don't really have anything back into the communities. And we could have a lot of top fighters.
That's it. Yeah. You know, if you're putting it in and mobs taking interest and they're looking at someone like you and looking at some of the other Australian fighters and they're like, righto, I can give this a crack and put in the hard work and just see where it goes, eh?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu is one of those sports too, man, where like a lot of like Aboriginal fellas can go to boxing and be naturally good at it, you know what I mean? Continue doing what they're doing in life. But with jiu-jitsu, you kind of got to go, right, fucking sit down, I'm going to learn this. And you got to put your whole mind into it, into learning the art, you know what I mean?
Was it a pretty humbling experience for yourself when you started out?
Yeah, well, no one walks into jiu-jitsu and has a good day their first day.
Ego's left at the door.
That's right, yeah. But like, yeah, you can see a lot of black fellas walk in a boxing gym, man, and light that place up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
they've probably just come out from the mission, or if it's city black fellas, and then it's like throw them in the ring and it's bang the school there straight away.
Yeah.
You know, because it's not like, you know, there's a lot of Aboriginals that are at the top of the echelon of sports in all sporting codes in Australia, and it's good to see it coming into combat sports at the highest level. Yeah. You know, wherever it's got to do with Hex or UFC or whatever it may be. And is that the promotion that you fight under most with Hex?
I haven't fought in Hex in 2 years. Probably XFC at the moment.
Yeah.
Probably push for another fight in there soon. But I've been training's been off and on at the moment with the holidays and that, so I'm just looking to get back into the groove because I had bronchitis as well. So yeah, just getting back into the groove, and then hopefully something in like 12 weeks or something like that. Be ready to go.
12 weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So are there a couple of flyweights on the radar? Yeah,
I got a few guys in my inbox asking for fights, so I just keep them quiet and I get a little talkative when I want to push for something. But apart from that, I'm happy just to wait for the challenge, you know what I mean?
Like, as it leads up and put it out there. And it's a bit of a mix of that. Like, say, if you're talking to each other, and then approaching a promoter and say, hey, we're looking at maybe getting in, having a scrap. Like, just talk us through that process, bro.
Well, how do you mean? Like, just like, finding fights?
Yeah, like, do you just get a call up from Hex and say, hey, we got
I'm usually the guy, to be honest, I'm the guy they bring in to build their guy up, and it didn't work a couple of times. So like, I've kind of jumped really high really quickly. Like, it only took me 2 or 3 years, I think, from amateur to the top 10, I was in the top 10, and then I went back a little bit. But so usually, like, I'll get a promotion and they've got a boy and they'll ring me up and they'll be like, do you want this fight or whatever? I'm gonna take the fight.
Why not?
Ask for a bit of money sometimes because they need a fighter.
Well, that's it.
But there's nothing really. We are hoping to bring a show. I'm probably not going to say too much about it. Hoping to bring a show to the coast.
Oh, great.
So hopefully that goes down, and then I'll be able to bring a guy out here. You know what I mean? But usually it's just I'm just got to go around chasing fights. So
where have most of your fights been? Mainly like within New South Wales? Or have you had to travel interstate? Like
Urban Fight Night. So I had my first 4 fights on Urban Fight Night. That was around Sydney, and then after that, I had a fight on Super Fight in Sydney as well, and then Hex in Melbourne, which was a good promotion. Like, they look after you real well as well, and then XFC in Queensland, which were another really good promotion. Like, looked after me real well as well. Yeah. So XFC's based up there, and then Hex is based down in Victoria. Yeah. So you've had to get the wings on and fly around. So yeah. Well, you can see they want you. I've never had the hometown advantage. So come on, bring something to the coast. Yeah. And some of the early fights, like, I've had hundreds of people in the crowd against me. So that doesn't faze me at all. How do you feel that? Like, when you got the people in the crowd just ecstatic when I win. Like, like, in your face. Yeah, big fingers up. Yeah. So what ounce gloves are you wearing? 4 ounce. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was just thinking, would it be like the typical 4 ounce?
Yeah.
So take us through, brother, when you're sitting, when you're preparing for a fight, when you're in the locker room, like what's going through your head when you're sitting there without giving away secret sauce? What, like, how are you feeling? Is it anxiety? What is it?
No, you feel not even, I don't even call it nerves, to be honest. It's like your body pumps itself up. Do you know what I mean? Like you kind of, it was nerves, and then if you in the beginning you do ride them a little bit, but now you start to realise after you have a few fights, like it's just your body getting itself ready. You know what I mean? Like you have your mind's racing. You just meditate, brother. Like fucking slow everything down. I'm the type of fighter too that I don't have to come out overly aggressive and chase things, and you know what I mean, like get myself real pumped up. I can like
you're ready to go straight, like ready to go, but calm and collective in a way.
Yeah, sit back, look for counters, and you know what I mean.
Yeah,
I like to be a bit more technical as well. So
like with the say XFC, and when you're looking at Hex, like before you walk out, sorry. So the ref comes out and they're giving you a dressing down of, you know, what not to do and all that sort of stuff, yeah?
Yeah, that's a bit fucking nerve-wracking because you're hearing shit like, don't fucking punch him in the back of the head, you know what I mean? Like,
don't get him in the back of the spine.
No fucking
and
elbows here, and then you're like, well, shit's for fucking real now, you know what I mean? Like that, yeah.
And is that when it kicks in for you though, when the ref's giving you the dressing down?
Kicks in for me at the weigh-ins, man.
Really?
Yeah. Like once, I don't like to talk to anyone after. Once the weigh-ins have started, that's when you get everyone calling you and stuff, and this and that. And I don't like to talk to anyone, man. Like, yeah.
You just want to decompress and the phone's off, eh?
Yeah.
So, refs dress you down. Do you get what's your walkout song? Do you have one?
Not really. Anything. I went with Briggs, Shep Life for a bit.
Yeah, Briggs, Shep Life.
Yeah, it's just depends if they got Spotify or not, I guess, as a DJ.
And so walking out, so from the locker room to the cage or the ring, whatever they got. So what's that feeling like, say, from the process from the locker to the cage, door opens up, you're stepping foot on the mat. What's going through the head? Are you still
it's
in
the
that
big
calm
fucking,
zone?
it's the weight around at first, so that's where all the nerves and shit are going down.
Yeah, and having all these people in the crowd carrying on too. So
you're kind of just waiting around to think, I'll put my gloves on soon, put your gloves on, warm up. Still a bit jittery. And then when they say, like, right, you're fucking on, you just walk out and everything goes numb then. Like, from that point, basically, it's just fucking numb. And, like, you don't feel too much. Like, it's pretty strange being on the receiving end of a beat, and like you just kind of observe it. You know what I mean? Like you don't really feel it, you just see it.
Yeah. And like, so with your last fight, and that was for the belt with Hex, yeah.
Yeah.
And
belt with XFC, sorry.
XFC, sorry. Yeah. So XFC, you got caught up in that triangle, and obviously spewing because you, like you said, you wanted to test out the 5 rounds to see how the cardio base is going, and bang, it's done. How did you feel after that loss, brother?
Fucking shit. It was the first time I've had I've had family I hadn't seen in 20 plus years come out to support me, so that kind of thing, just shit. Felt like I let people down, you know what I mean? Always feel like I let people down. I fucking hate dragging my family through that emotional side of shit, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Like sort of saying you don't want to bring all that sort of baggage home after a big loss.
I don't even like people coming to watch me, to be honest. Like it was a cool sport when you're young and that. When you start to get you're like, why aren't people coming to watch me? When you get a bit older, you start to realise like, I don't want people watching me get my head kicked in. Like,
yeah, because you see some people, you know, even where they're bringing their kids and
stuff
to the ring, and it's like,
I
man, you want to mix
it.
that up, you know?
Yeah, it's just a bad thing to bring a kid to, I think. Like,
yeah, just in case they see dad or mum copping a head kick and it's lights out, you know.
Even a 5-round war, man, like cut up, you know what I mean? Like,
that's it. If you're covered with blood, it's all over your face. So it's full on sport, you know. But you know, personally, like I said it before off camera. I love combat sports. Love
I think
MMA.
we all do a little bit, but I think too, like that's
It's
like
all
a bit
in
of
us in a
little
way.
bit of that little propaganda gets to people where they're like, oh, it's all about pride and honor and respect and this and that. It is, but it's fucking brutal as well. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's the bit of a selling point to the fans. Like, yeah.
And how's it been going, brother? Like, since you've been, put up, you're going for the belt. Obviously, you're going to be known a bit more. So what's the pros and the cons with that, if it's people carrying on social media or just take us
Not
through that
nothing really
journey?
more anymore. Like I used to be a little bit reactive. Now I'm just like, keep to myself. I don't do the sport for fucking fans anyway. You know what I mean? Like I do the sport because I like fighting. That's basically it. Like I want the challenge. Keeps me busy. Keeps me off the streets. Keeps me from doing stupid shit. Do you know what I mean? And like that's the kind of internal battle I've got going on. Like could go down the fucking path the rest of my family's gone down.
Yeah.
I could fucking do something, be something. Do you know what I mean? Like
That's it. And good on you saying that too, brother, because you see, a lot of our mob, the overrepresentation that of incarceration and whatnot, and that's why it's good for for yourself or with Robert Whittaker's program and other mob out there that want to go out to if it's this like city or urban, rural and remote, and start teaching like or not just youngsters, adults too.
yeah.
These additional skills that they can learn, like the discipline of martial arts and how that can.
Oh man, the education helps heaps. Hey, like you see, like the TAFE was doing, like the TAFE had a bit of community stuff going on and that with all their programs and that. You've seen a lot of people doing really well, and then you just get the funding torn out the arse. You know what I mean? And then
Yes.
yeah, you're like mobs just suffers again. Like
Yeah. So where'd you do the course at?
Campbelltown.
Campbelltown.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
That was 2.5 years because I did the PT course. We were the first people to go through the PT course, and then we did diploma of fitness and business as a trial thing for the next year and a half.
Yeah.
But I think they discontinued that because we had way too many dropouts in the end. Like it was it was a pretty intense course, to be honest. Like
to cram it in.
well, people that come in to do a diploma of do fitness, and then they've got to do this diploma in business. No business-minded instinct or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like, so and doing a diploma is pretty high level. So
Yeah, and it worked out for you.
yeah, it worked out for me.
Yeah.
And,
So did you see Bobby Knuckles down there or what?
yeah, a couple of times, a few times. Went and trained in there a couple of times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that his gym out at Padstow, out that way?
Smeaton Grange. I think
Smeaton
it is,
Grange, yeah.
Yeah, real nice bunch of blokes.
Yeah, so you had a bit of a roll or a bit of a spar with
Yeah.
the mob there?
The first time I rolled with him, he got me in real tight dash choke, I think, and he's squeezing it, and he's touched me, and he's like, "You sure you're all right?" And I think my neck was a little small, so he had a bit more squeeze, but yeah.
Did he put you to
he got
sleep
me,
or
he
what?
got me, he took him, yeah, he got me. He's a big, strong fella.
Yeah, that dude's gone through some wars, especially with that Yoel Romero. Dude's just made out of solid steel.
Those fights, probably some of the best fights of the last decade, to be honest.
Yeah, and how is that? Look at the Australian scene of MMA. Look at how it is here on the Central Coast. Like, from your perspective, how have, because you've been training combat sports as a youngster and obviously dipping your toes into different disciplines, but growing up, how has the rise of MMA been for yourself and just being excited because you're seeing more people getting involved?
It's
and all that
changed
sort of
heaps.
stuff? Yeah.
It's changed so much. Like now, everyone's getting all the techniques right and that. And before, like, it was a little bit of trial and error, and now, like, we've got top fighters everywhere now, for sure. Like you can find fighters for the UFC anywhere around Australia now, easily.
Yeah, well, you look at, Alex Volkanovski, first Australian Robert Whittaker, Australian champ, Australian New Zealand champ.
Volkanovski, man, he's an animal. Like,
yeah. I don't know how that guy was a front rower, like the size of him, but just his game plan that he had against Holloway, just chewing at the legs.
Yeah.
And
he's at another level technically and stuff as well. Like,
yeah.
I think everyone could see it for a little bit that he was just going to fucking come through and there wasn't going to be much anyone could do about it, I think.
It was predicted.
Yeah.
So hopefully, you know, they do a big...
It's pretty strange too watching the rest of the world. Like, this guy's going to beat Volkanovski. This guy's going to beat Volkanovski, and everyone in Australia is like, no, not going to happen. Yeah.
That's it. We've got the game plan.
Yeah.
Going to take another
He's
belt.
just got that style, man. He's just fucking wear on you all day. Like,
his cardio surprises me.
Yeah.
Like, you know, because when you're looking at Max Holloway, he's a cardio king, but he was just nullified by getting that front leg chopped.
A lot of the guys on the juice cup wouldn't be able to compete with him. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
He's just got a style like a lot of the juice heads have without the juice.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it's like. That old, I don't know.
Yeah, man.
And then his kickboxing's very technical as well.
Yeah, well, he's with that city kickboxing crew now, just with Israel Adesanya.
And he was
all that crew.
technical to begin with, and those guys are just like, they're just another level of coaching, man. With their strategies and stuff like that. And
with wrestling, like when he took on Chad Mendes, like he's a top flight wrestler.
Yeah, man. It's amazing to see him do all the wrestling, hey, like. But it's just, I don't know, like, what is it? Is it hard work? Is it attributes? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
or playing footy for so long and just knowing tackle techniques and all that sort of stuff. But because that's what you always...
I suppose when you do it without technique and then you learn how to do it with technique too, you know, especially being a front rower coming down to featherweight. Yeah.
That's it. But because you always hear that from overseas, they always say the best base to have is wrestling, and you can see the evidence of that.
But he works hard too, man. Like, he's a technical wrestler too. Like,
because you look at Khabib, you know, like from Dagestan, and just wrestle, but that's just drilled, you know, from since he was a kid, you know.
Someone like Volkanovski, I think, be on the Australian wrestling team if that's what he put. You know what I mean? Put his mind to just that.
Just like, as an athlete in general.
He'd probably be an Olympic wrestler. Like, yeah.
And what about the Central Coast, brother? The rise up here, like. Now you're looking at Central Coast Mixed Martial Arts. That's down at Erina.
Yeah, I used to go and get a bit of sparring in down there.
Yeah.
And I just haven't been down there in a bit.
Yeah, because you got
some good guys.
Ross that's running the show, Pearson. And that's awesome having like a facility up here like that. But just because that's promoting, you know, themselves. But, you know, that's getting other gyms around here to build also, you know, because iron sharpens iron.
That's it.
And if you can get the best from, you know, each discipline or whatever it may be, getting overall what they do at Central Coast Mixed Martial Arts, or if you want it, go the other out and mix it up with a kickboxing gym and say Gracie Barra and just do that.
There's a lot of good fighters on the coast, man, even outside of mixed martial arts. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's probably got better boxers and kickboxers than we've got mixed martial artists. So
the culture of kickboxing's always... Well, I grew up in Wyong, and having, you know, Rob Murdoch's gym over.
So I've been training with those boys a little bit too.
Yeah,
righto. Like, he's top level, man. Like,
well, he's been training, you know, since I was a kid.
Yeah,
you know, I remember in the old where Wyong Art House is now, when you had the old, the old what was it, Shane?
Are you thinking of like the theatre thing that they had there? Or?
Yeah, Wong, before the art house. What was that called?
Testing my memory now.
Jeez.
I can just remember when he was near the station.
Yeah, when he had his gym there.
Yeah.
But, well, anyway. In that spot, because I remember seeing kickboxing matches in there, you know, in that old building. So... Yeah, he's been around doing stuff for years. Yeah. Yeah, and he's had some top flight kickboxers too.
Yeah, heaps,
like
man.
Pros around Australia and whatnot.
Yeah.
But, there's a lot of stuff that you can draw upon around on the coast. But did you see, I was pumped on that fight, Malaki's. Jamie Malaki's
he's tough
fight.
too, man.
Yeah. Have you sparred up with him?
Yeah, sparred with him a bit. He's a big dude too, man. Like,
I was going to say, he looks like a big flyweight,
big featherweight.
Big featherweight.
Yeah. He's fought at lightweight as well, so...
Oh, okay.
So he's a fairly big, rangy dude. Like, and I'd move around with him a bit and that, but like, he'd probably fucking run over me. You know what I mean? Like, a lot bigger.
Yeah, that's it. But have they got a pretty good facility down there?
Yeah, great facility. Yeah, it's just being able to get down there at times. That's why I do the 24/7 thing, man. Because it's like, don't know what's going to happen with work, kids. You know what I mean? So when that does happen, I still go in and get me work if it's 2 a.m, 10 in the night, you know what I mean? Like,
mate, you're grinding it out. 2 a.m, not mucking around. So how's that balance family, life, fighting?
Fucking crazy, but I just need to be like that. Like, if I'm not doing anything, I'm going to do something stupid.
So you're sort of saying you thrive in controlled chaos in a sense.
Yeah. Well, I just need to be busy all the time. If I've got time to sit around and think, you know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know. No time to sit around and think.
Yeah, you just got to keep active all the time, and that's, giving you that
You get
mental
real negative
stability.
real quick, you know what I mean?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so as long as you keep burning those calories and training, that's just keeping you focused.
Yeah.
Even
Having
if,
a goal.
even if you're not like looking for a fight coming down the line.
Even like I won't drink, man. I don't think I had a drink for 2 years at one spot there, just because I was training all the time. But if you give me a fucking 10-pack or something and we go have a party, like I'll be the wildest guy there. You know what I mean? So it's like I've got to keep the lid on it. Like, yeah.
Mate, well, you got to do whatever's best for you. And it sounds like, you got it worked out. And especially when you got a family and just trying to balance that life out as well. So Central Coast, it's really building. It's good to see. And especially seeing representation with, Jamie Malaki up in the UFC now.
Yeah.
So what's your plan? What's the steps for Mitchell Birkett, the Koori Kid? What do you lead, without giving anything away if you've already been mixed up with promoters? Like, is there a path that you want to lead to if you're looking at the local promotions to the UFC?
There was, but then you take a few losses and you just like, path changes a little bit. Now it's just fight as much as I can when I can, keep building that fan. You know what I mean? Just keep building, like keep pushing. Eventually, if you do something, you put that much effort into something's going to come of it anyway. Like, even if it's my own gym eventually, do you know what I mean? Like, it's just keeping on that good path, brother. And then fucking,
That's it, my brother.
Yeah.
And staying on that path. So it's a mix of just straight up training, keeping the mind stable, and just waiting for that call, and because you're just constantly training, keeping yourself in that
that's
mental
why
and
I've said
physical space.
12 weeks at the moment, because I come from...
Is that a typical camp? Is it
No, not even. I don't have a typical camp. That's the thing. It's like usually I'll get a thing 5 weeks out, get an offer 5 weeks out, and just get ready for the fight. So usually I'm ready all year round, but because I've had bronchitis and stuff like that, I had to take a little bit of time off. Had to work the lungs back up steadily, you know what I mean? Can't push straight back in. And then, now it's just, I'll give myself... I've been offered a fight for 10 weeks from now, which I'll probably end up going next week. I'll take it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, being smart, I'd probably say 12 weeks before I accept anything, just to get me base and thing. But then at the end of that 12 weeks, I'll take a fight that day. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's awesome, brother. So, mate, I can't wait for something to transpire for you. And hopefully
it does.
Yeah, and hopefully it's not too far away. You got to go where you got to go, but hopefully it's close, because they put them up in Sydney too. Well, I know some of the Hex fighters are like in Sydney based.
Yeah.
And they have them down there too, with Hex.
Yeah.
It's not just Victoria all the time.
I think they have tried to bring a show to Sydney, but they haven't just yet. They might be doing it soon or something like that.
Yeah, okay.
Don't know too much.
Yep. But, mate, it's good seeing Aboriginal representation, like at the highest level too, with Tai Tuivasa, and just how did you feel the first time when you saw someone at that level, UFC, because that's where every mixed martial artist, dreams to be. That's a pinnacle.
Yeah.
So when
pretty surreal, eh?
When you saw him with the flag coming out,
pretty surreal, man. Like, you didn't think that, you know what I mean? Like, you didn't, I don't know, like MMA wise, didn't really expect it for a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, but he fit right in, eh?
Yeah.
Like, he was toweling up blokes left, right and
He's
centre.
got a brand.
Yeah.
He's got a brand. There's all you need. Like, he's already lost 3 fights in a row, but, you got a brand.
That's right.
It doesn't matter. Like, just put your heart into it. Like,
yeah, that's it. And then that's where you guys are cut from the same cloth when you're talking Western Sydney, and where some of that is instilled in you.
Yeah.
Do you feel that way, yeah? Am I saying that in a right
yeah.
manner?
Like, I don't think losses mean shit to you down there, you know what I mean? Like, fucking like you go 100% in everything you do, and you do everything hard, but like you're losing out fucking living there in the first place. Like there's not much that can beat you down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just got to keep grinding.
Yeah.
Keep tasting the fear, brother. Have a crack. So, but dude's a character. What about this bloody shoey business?
There's characters everywhere down there.
Hey, I'm all about, righto, shoey, beer into the bloody shoe, crack it down. But when you first seen these blokes doing it, Ty, two of us, and Pedro,
Yeah.
Bloody loogie,
Yeah, I know.
bang, beer, down, swallow.
I'll
Thanks
be
for
lucky
coming.
to scull a beer, mate.
Oh, God. I mean, leave that to that Western Sydney folk down there, Won't get me sculling a shoey with a bloody big oyster in it. But, no, it's just good to see, characters within, the Australian characters that are building it up too.
And like the way Ty does it, he does it his own way, which is, that's what I like about him, you know what I mean? And when a Aboriginal athlete does it their own way, man, you don't see that too often. So we don't have many role models because they're putting these role models up here that are like, what would you say? Like, nothing we can really aspire to. Do you know what I mean?
No,
like,
I know what
they
you
don't
mean.
understand where we're coming from.
Especially if you've got athletes that might come, say, if it's Western Sydney.
Yeah.
Or if you've got, like, an athlete that comes from, like, the North Coast somewhere, and then you've got a group of kids
Like
that
everyone
are
that's
from that area, you know what I mean? And you've got that athlete, and if it's going back to community and building that up, so, so it's guiding.
like
the
we
mob-
got,
and
we
not
got
just
like
that-
real nice women role models in the community and stuff like
100%.
that. But male wise, like we don't like, you know what I mean? Like you see Ty and he reminds you of your crazy cousin. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like is
they do.
something relatable.
They do, they do exist, but it just depends if it's sport or if it's, or if it's not even sport.
But people
if
try and
it's-
put a little bit of a lid on it.
Yeah. Just depends, man. Like it's different around the nation, and different mobs and how it's addressed, or just a person, So if you're looking at, if they're not, because we do represent a lot at the highest level when it's got to do with sport, but also, you do see it, if it's got to do with journalism or, if it's got to do with acting or if it's politics, like there are Aboriginals that represent at that level too, but but it's
just the
good
exposure, eh?
That's right, and it's good having these people at the highest levels that when you got youngsters or not even young, anyone that where if they're at a point of their life where they might stumble across this Aboriginal person that is doing a certain thing, and then that fits in within their thoughts and their niche, and then and then hopefully it sways them that way.
Yeah. Well, the way I see it, like like you might be a little bit of a fuck up, and then you see someone like Ty who's a fuck up as well. Like you know what I mean, like full owns himself kind of thing, and you're like, well, look, he's doing what he's doing. Just a fucking kid from Western Sydney. All these other kids from Western Sydney now can relate. And they can try and do the same thing. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Whereas before, like if you're getting the role model you can't relate to, it doesn't mean shit. You can't do anything with it.
You can still be mucking up and be a bit of a clown, but you can do it in the
but pull your head in a bit. That's all.
That's
you
right.
know what I mean?
Discipline
like,
and have a bit of training, and that's
Yeah.
because you do see that like a trend of like mixed martial art or just combat sports in general, where it's people that are in areas where they're blueing all the time.
Well, black fellas like I say it all the time. Like, my brother will be running the muck, doing bad, and then try and be good, and then they're in this little headspace where they're fighting between good and bad. Do you know what I mean? It's like you can do a little bad, just make sure you're doing more good than you're doing bad.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they're
just trying.
just twisted a little bit with
It's just
the way things are taught to them or something.
Oh well, it's just like everyone, man. It's just trying to find the right balance.
Yeah.
And sometimes it falls to the wrong path, and then sometimes it's in between, and someone doesn't.
I suppose it's just
They
life,
don't want to
eh?
know what they do, and then and then you got other people that are up the other end of the echelon.
Yeah.
That's just life, brother, and it's like experience growing up, and you got all that these outside influences. That's what can either build character in a good way, or have that negative effect. But everybody's different. Everybody's got a different
That's it.
story, and you know, if there's trauma involved or not.
That's the thing. You can't sort trauma. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's messy. It's messy.
That's it. It's
Yeah.
instilled. But, you know, if you can build upon that and
Yeah.
rise above, brother, that's good. You know? And you've already talked about your plan, your MMA plan, you know, and I'm stinging. So you're thinking, were you saying before 12 weeks?
Yeah,
Maybe?
Yeah, I reckon I'll take 1 in 10.
Take 1 in 10?
Yeah.
Right. So that's not too far away.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, brother, like, I really appreciate you being here. And I just do you want to shout out to some of your sponsors out there who's on board with you with this journey?
Just shout out to Combat Nutrition and Drum Clothing. They're pretty much stuck with me from day one and continue to stick with me. So, yeah, just a big shout out to them, basically.
Beauty. And so coming up, you know, you've come up through the ranks, the dedication that it takes to what it means to be not just an MMA fighter, but being an Aboriginal MMA fighter. So what would you leave message-wise, putting out there to other, you know, young males, females, out in community, urban, rural or remote, like leave some empowerment out there, brother, like what to strive for?
Just fucking have a dream big, chase it, put a goal in place and fucking try and obtain it. You know what I mean? Keep yourself busy. Yeah.
Yeah. Stay on track. Eh?
Yeah, that's it, man. Like, you can only change your life when you're willing to change it.
Spot on, brother. Righto. How can people get a hold of you? Social media? Throw it out in the atmosphere.
Yeah, just give us a like on social media. If you want to contact me, feel free to inbox me. We'll have a chat. Cheers.
Mitch, brother, have you got anything else to say?
Nah, bro, all good.
Cheers, my brother. Thanks for coming on, eh?
Yeah, thanks for that, Jake. It was good to talk to you, bro.
Cheers, bro.
All good. Oh.
See? Solid yarn with the fella. It's awesome. Just to see the essence of what it takes to be a mixed martial artist and what you have to put in to get results. And I hope nothing best for Mitch, the Koori Kid Birkett, just to see where his career goes. Like I've said before, I love combat sports, so good on you, brother. And if you want to get in contact with me, you can get me via Instagram at Street Rolling Cheetah or email, one word, streetrollingcheetah@gmail.com. Or we got the Facebook page, Keep Rolling with Jake Briggs, so check it out. I want to thank our sponsors, Permobil Australia, the greatest electric wheelchairs in the land. Wouldn't be sitting in anything else but these 4 wheels right here, and they got great assistive tech also. So righto, see you on the next one.